Good evening, welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament. Reinvigorated after last week's magnificent broadcast by Shonko, I think I'm ready for some cool games, and it is my luck that we have got two new bots, one of which has been online already for some time. It is called Red Rum, and well, it's already played a fair number of games. Another one is called Dragon, more about that later. And luckily this week I have been recommended some games for this broadcast. So without further ado, and pardon me for speeding it up because we have got rather a lot to do, and it's Liberation Day in Holland, which will mean that we'll have to go and visit the flea market because the missus wants to buy more stuff to clutter the house with. And of course that will have to be pretty soon, and the repair is just in time. And oh crazy, what are you doing now with the siege mode? I think this goon harass thing is coming to a quick end, and Purple Destiny is rather wasteful. That is 5 goons wasted right there, and that the last pair of goons is rather suicidal in its general approach to the game. Brazier now moving out with the Vulture. Let's see, only speed, prepping and siege mode done. Oh, and a Dark Templar. And now what will we do? There is hastily being thrown up a couple of turrets in the rear, nothing in the front, and a lot of siege tanks are dying. Oh, and this one is not going to see the light of day, but there are now 2 turrets and oh, 2 Dark Templar, and of course 2 goons at the 3 Dark Templar, and they're doing a lot of damage, and the goons are taking some pot shots at the buildings. And the turret cover is slowly increasing. One dies. Oh, and another tank kicks it, so these Templar are not really committed to killing the turrets first. But I think that with this turret, if it will finish... Yes, it will. Oh, and the Dark Templar could have killed it, but they run instead. And with the repair, I think they... Oh, these Vultures might just save the day. And Crazio has been set back a lot, though. That must be said. The eBay has been killed, and the barracks is catching fire like a mad barracks, and it's floating back to the relative safety of the base. Another scan goes off, but the Vultures don't manage to kill the DT. And now the pressure is on, because you can see the Natural's already up and running, the main is kicking, and the third is almost done. The probes are being transferred already, but Crazio is there now with the first tank, and that is doing a lot of damage. 2 kills with 1 blast, and I think that these goons, well, 1 tank does not a summer make. Crazy is going for a starport. Might be the right decision, but could also very much do with another expansion. As you can see, and that is Purple Destiny's thing, though, that it's rather wasteful with its goons, and that's not good at all. At least for Crazio it is, of course, but not for Purple Destiny. And the Purple Destiny is trying to brute force its way into the base of Crazio, now retiring with all its units. And we've got, oh dear, what will we get? I think it's either going to be a Scout or a Corsair, and some production being added. Oh no, there is a fleet beacon, so that may be carriers. And that might be just the thing that Crazio needs to get back into the game, although there isn't a single Goliath yet. And this push is so... Oh, there are 3 tanks now. The Observer overhead spots it all and just lives. That is pretty well done. And for some Vultures traded to goons, Crazio is slowly approaching the base of the enemy, but this choke is very tight, and here comes the carrier, and oh dear, oh, and a High Templar as well. Is Storm ready? Yes, it is. Now the carrier should go full frontal assault on whatever is in Crazio's army, because now Crazio knows, and if I'm not very much mistaken... Oh, the armory! There isn't even an armory, and it's just a Wraith being prepped, and oh, the Natural is there now for Crazio, but... Oh, this is not good at all. The armory's still not done. Now it is, and still Crazio's building Vultures. This is not good at all. Purple Destiny on the attack with 2 carriers. Crazio's got half a Wraith and a couple of tanks, but that will not stop the impending doom. And of course there is a Templar with Storm as well. Irradiate is done, and you cannot but argue that Crazio is, well, hasn't really got its priorities right. Here come the current boosters, and here comes the first couple of Goliaths. So Crazio might just hold, and that's mainly to do with Purple Destiny not really pressing the issue as much as it could have. Flying into the main with the carriers would have ended the game right there. There are 3 carriers already. And forget about the ground army with the tanks and the belts to kill all the buildings and you would be golden. 4th base though is prepping for Purple Destiny, and Crazio is going to have to fight pretty hard, even though Purple Destiny is not really going to go in a full frontal attack with the carriers. You can see there are more Goliaths being built, and right now there are 9 already, so Crazio is doing this pretty well. A human player would have taken a lot of opportunities to damage something with these carriers, and mainly the carriers are now behaving like goons. They're waiting in and out of this tank range, and they are not actually killing anything, and that means that Crazio, as you can see here, is getting a lot of free shots. There is blue soup everywhere, and the number of interceptors killed must be quite substantial already, although we haven't got a kill count. You can see the interceptors number is varying wildly, and that is with 4 or 5 carriers constantly producing interceptors, so that is very interesting. And the main army is completely out of its mind, and I do think that Purple Destiny could do with a more indirect approach to attacking the enemy, especially if it's a Terran, because this tank thing is just too strong to not withstand a full frontal assault. Storm going off, of course, that's immaculately dodged. And you can see now Crazio is gaining in supply. Purple Destiny has got the bank and the supply advantage, but it's just not getting anything done. The worker transfer isn't working at all, and this cannon is just about seeing things, I think. Oh, and one goon comes to clean it up. And now, yes, I think that is it. The carriers can be more effective, or less effective. And the combat micro of Purple Destiny leaves something to be desired. You can see Crazio still at 150 supply of only 1 base. And Purple Destiny would be very wise to shut down this one here, because if Crazio gets that up and running, it can play 2 base, and as you can see, Purple Destiny is not really bringing home the goods, losing stuff to 1 lone Goliath, and this carrier has only got 4 interceptors. That's not good at all. Another High Templar got killed, and you can see Purple Destiny is struggling to keep a foothold in the game. It's making so many units, but it's not really getting stuff done, and Crazio is rolling. There are carriers and an Arbiter, and now some units for Crazio's arrive, and contrary to logic, Crazio is killing bases of Purple Destiny. And here in the middle of the map, this carrier fleet is doing God knows what. Nothing much too spectacular. There are 28 Goliaths, and the micro of these carriers, especially combined with these goons which keep suiciding in tanks, is just not up to scratch. Crazio still hanging in there. Purple Destiny is running out of its bank like a map, and it's making a lot of Templar, but it can't really use the Templar. The Templar are dying left, right and center, and a few storms that are cast, they just are dodged so easily. These storms in the middle of the map are just not cutting it versus a monster Terran like Crazio. Crazio has cleared out this base, and oh, the rate is, yes, of course, there you go. Crazio should be a little bit more diligent about killing this base. And Crazio has got a nice sphere of influence, and now the carriers are pressing the issue with a lot of stasis cast on the Goliaths. But the thing is, the Goliaths are not getting killed, and now when they wake up, they are going to kill carriers once again. And Crazio's unit micro in this game is just better than that of Purple Destiny. Purple Destiny now still maintaining a maxed supply situation. That is because of this humongous production tab and all the eco it's got. And Crazio is fighting what is worth. It can't really commit to stamping out this base, which would be a benefit, especially since there would not be anything in its back. Now Purple Destiny is taking this base, which is in a rather unfavorable position. And I think that, yes, this cannon just got finished right on time. Crazio, though, is approaching the natural choke where, although not water production, still a considerable amount of it is located. And now Crazio will have to send forces again, but if there are 2 or 3 goons, the number of forces sent will have to be quite high. And with the repair, that's really a boon to a mech player like Crazio. And Purple Destiny is now finally getting something done over here. The eco advantage appears to be just too great for Crazio, and Crazio is below 150 supply. This Expeditionary Force is all there is, and if it dies, I think that is going to be a long, hard fight back to the natural choke. But still, the micro of these carriers could be a lot better. The ground forces of Purple Destiny are nowhere to be seen, and even though it's still producing a lot of crap stuff, with 3 Arbiters it's not really going to work. Oh, and that Storm on stasis units is just not good. So lots of stasis, but no killing going on, or the killing is being done at the hands of Crazio, so that's not good. And now Crazio, you can see that this goon doesn't really get anything done. You'd save up 5 goons, kill the base and be done with it, but that's just not happening. And Crazio is playing a beautiful game of only 1 base at this moment. This one, it's mining out though, only 4 mineral patches left, but the push has now entered the natural choke, and buildings are being killed and raised in the main base of Purple Destiny. Purple Destiny has still got a quite nice army, but Crazio's army is just better. The difference is only workers. The armies are about equal. Crazio losing a lot now though. And now 28. Crazio has fought hard, but it looks like the carriers in the end bring it back. And, well, there are cannons over here, so that's probably going to work. Oh, and Crazio's absolutely mined out. That's a pity. Purple Destiny has got the map, and even though Crazio fought the good fight, in the end it was not enough, and the carriers take the enemy fortress by storm. This base being taken and claimed because, well, mining resources there. Neither player taking the island bases, but there you go. Okay, so lot to do. Let's get on with it. We've got Insanity Bot versus Insanity Bot number 2. And I was sent this replay by the author Joshua, and I am very grateful for it. So, here we go. We can see both players doing exactly the same thing, having got exactly the same build order, and this is just scary to watch. Just going for about the same things. You can see the supply is exactly the same, worker count, army count, immaculate. And the APM may vary from time to time, and now the first contact is there. I think that it's going to be alright. You can see exactly what's happening, and only now Insanity Bot 2 is doing something different. It's ahead in supply, and ahead in army supply and worker count as well. So both armies meeting in the middle of the map, stimming going on, and Insanity Bot 2 is going to have the better of this. There is a bunker, of course, which will be a great boon. But you can see with the reinforcements, I think that 1 is going to withstand the pressure of 2. And you can see 1 still being a little bit down in supply. I don't know what that is actually. The worker count for 2 is just much higher. And you can see that 1 is now making the SCPs to catch up. So I think after this first skirmish, number 2 got ahead just a little bit. And number 1 is taking the opportunity to claim another base. So this is the first real bifurcation in build orders between this Brotherhood of War. And you can see whenever the reinforcements from either player arrive, they get the momentum going. There you go. Lots of damage being done. The medics out in the open field, a lot of them get killed. That's not good at all. But the army micro is not as smooth as you would have expected from a more accomplished bot. Still, there is 1 more base for number 1, and that's good. Oh, and number 1 is raiding this base over here as well, so that's 2 SCVs are sent, but these ones have got a medic. Still, there is 1, and now it's going to be killed. Yes, there we go. So number 2 gets to re-establish this base, couple of worker transfers in progress, and now I think that is going to be time, because we see a science facility, and that I think must be for the upgrades. +1/+1, nearly done, so right on time for the science facility, of course. Always like to see, oh god, where is it? Where is it? Show it to me. Oh, that's number 2, not number 1. So, oh yes, there it is. Oh god. Let's see what that's going to be. Oh, the SCV is doing quite a bit of damage over here. And this tug of war in the middle of the map, I'm not... Oh god, we're going to see ghosts. That's pretty cute. And the science vessels being built. Oh, and the attack and the repair are going on simultaneously. Oh, now a large force of number 2 hitting that base of number 1. That is going to set it back a long time because the science vessel and the object will be killed. Oh god, look at that. That is... Where are they all at? That is such a number of depots. Where the hell are they? And now a number of turrets, so both these bots are doing a lot of damage. The ghosts arrive with extra range, but still number 1's got a sizable army, and these reinforcements of number 2 are getting soaked up. And now... Yes, they won't make it out alive, but still I think they could bring down the Nashville, which they do not. Number 2 is getting ahead and has got a nuclear silo. Oh dear, one is being built. One nuke is being built already. And that means I will have to keep my eyes very closely on things because it's so hard to miss. And let's keep an eye on this. There is one nuke for number 2. And of course there is a scan available. And number 1 is racking up the kills in the middle of the map. Good lord, look at that. Has got double the number of supply. And the pity is I don't get a warning for nuclear launch detector or anything like that. And of course with all the scans going off, it's very hard for the ghosts to actually get things done. Perhaps if I get into the game, it will be... I can see where another silo and the Cobra Ops is being rebuilt over here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's here right in the middle of the map. Oh, here's one. Yes, and that might be a pretty good place. There is no scan going off, but... Oh, all the Marines, they... Oh, just at the edge. That was not good. They were microing so well, but then got the order to attack. And, well, that didn't really work as well as planned for number 1. So, number 1 on the attack, and number 2 breakdancing for all their worth. You can see lots of stims going on, and there are not enough medics for number 2 at least, and for number 1 they are quite empty. But still, what can you say? Are nukes being built? Yes, finally one again. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit because this game is quite long, and there are so many things to be cast. So many games. Oh, that one just missed. I don't know who it belonged to. And it must be said, yes, both players working on nukes now, so that's... Just keep in the vicinity of these bases here. Oh, number 2 dealing a great stroke. Killing the base, killing the silo. And momentum. Oh, here's going to be one. Oh well, that's quite a nice bit. The medics and the ghost got killed. So that's okay, I believe. More nukes being built. Yes, at least one. I think Insanity Bot 1 just lost a silo, so that's not good. This is like a medieval match with guns, and that's pretty gnarly, but it's... Oh, this is... God, that was very good. Yes! Oh, and another one right in the center. But now it's only going to take one, so that's okay. And now both players tearing into each other. I think a nuke was launched here, but it got intercepted, or at least the ghost killed. And now number 1 is running for its life. Number 2 is having a small advantage. Both players at about 75 workers. Oh, that was a nuke. I totally missed that. It was about right about here. Where is it? Yes, here it is. There it is. No scan available. That's not good. And oh, they run off. But the science vessel is living. Yes, they're very good. I love this OpenBW replay viewer because I've got the science facilities over here, and this is just this great mass of swarming bio is awesome. Although, oh, here is a nuke on itself. That was not good. And stuff going on. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, and it got killed. That's a pity. But number 2 is now gaining sufficient momentum to just That's all pretty good, but number 1 has got the production tabs. For both players are pretty wild because you've got 2 or 3 or 4 bases just mining minerals and gas to produce bio. That can be quite a lot. And you can see number 1 now gaining the upper hand in the middle of the map. Are there nukes for both players? Yes, there are, but where are they? Nothing launched as yet, perhaps now. Oh, and our radiate going off. A lot of medics. Oh! Oh! That was a lot of medics killed in one shot. That's pretty good. Number 1, though, I feel is having the better of it right now, but this bunker is doing pretty good. Repair might be an even greater advantage. And there you go. There is 1 nuke for number 2. Number 1 has got nothing. Number 1, I feel... Oh, it's completely mined out. Number 2 is getting a lot of income. Oh, there is 1 base for number 1 still, so that's pretty good. Oh, and 1 nuke is going to land. Only a few marines and goes at the fringes of the army getting killed. And now number 2 is doing away with this base, and I cannot help but feel that this is going to be the end of the game because number 1 will be out of money. You can see this being a complete standstill, this being pretty good, nice bank, and a production tab sort of reflects that. Units are being produced for number 2 and not for number 1. That was a pretty sad nuke, but hey, what can you do? Science facility is killed, and now is going to be one-way traffic. I'm going to call the GG because there is more to be done. And what will we do? Yes, Red Rum versus Thomas Weider, and Red Rum is pretty new, has got quite a number of games, but received an interesting lot of updates over the last couple of well, days really, and that leads one to believe, oh, that is a very sneaky trick by this scouting probe. Lots of damage done to the SCVs, and they are just generally very much pestered and miffed by this intrepid probe. It now gets killed by the first marine being built, and of course we all know Thomas Weider. We saw it make a deep run in this year's or last year's tournament again. That was really surprising because you thought that people would figure out how to play against it by now, but that was not the case. This base position doesn't really allow for a very good cannon wall, so that should be good. And I think that Red Rum could, with a couple of tanks, easily bust it. Siege mode is done, and that's a lot of bases to be taken all at once. But if the enemy is taking its sweet time in getting things set up, but here come the carriers. The tanks are not sieging. Where are they going? Oh, they're going after this base. Might be a good decision as well. These bases now up lots of comsats and another base, which will give it a lot of time to get things done. And Purple Destiny, damn, if you are seeing this carrier micro, better watch it, because in the game versus Grazio, that left a little bit too desired, and now the carriers have to come back. There is nothing in the way of anti-air for Red Rum. Now finally the thing is being built, the armory, and one you can see there is a lot of money, but the production capacity just doesn't really equal that at the moment. Wherefore Red Rum's running up quite a bank. Lots of expansions though, that's pretty good. And now 2 fleets of carriers are moving out at once, while the Goliath numbers are being increased as we speak. Not enough though, because there are only 5, and well, it doesn't really analyze as well what Simp is doing. And you can see lots of stuff being built with only 2 Goliaths over there. That's a bit of a misread. And you haven't got to be the most adaptive player in the world, but if the enemy is hitting you with a lot of carriers all over the place, it might be a good idea to build more Goliaths than just 3. Oh, there comes the 4th. Oh no, the 2nd, because a number has been killed already, and one group of carriers is going for the throat, and the other one is going to hit it in the air. Oh, and that's the end of the Goliath production. That's pretty sad. And you can see how well and how determined these carriers move across the map. They've got excellent prioritization, killing anti-air units, killing buildings that could construct anti-air units, or could allow by their technology, allow other buildings to produce anti-air units. And this game is over. It is. Red Rum's trying to rebuild right here. But without an armory, it's going to be a hard lot to get things done. The entire lane has been gutted by now. And Xim is now out on the map with 4 groups of 4 carriers. And right now you've got 16 carriers, 1 tank and 16 vultures. That is obviously not going to work. So Red Rum, nicely done, but you are going to need a little bit of adaptive play and make some anti-air. What have we got? Oh, we've got another Red Rum. And let's have it play Dave Churchill. Now Dave is going to play Terran, of course being a random bot. Let's see how Red Rum will acquit itself, because there is a little chance of Dave Churchill's University of Alberta bot making carriers. And it's going to be a Marine standoff, just pure Marine. And both players have got nearly identical numbers. Dave is going to build just Marines, I believe. Well, there is a couple of medics in the army of Red Rum, and Red Rum with Stim should just do it, but they stim and run away. That's not good at all. So Dave is going to... they need a little bit of heart. Because if you got Stim, Firebats and medics and a superior... Oh, not a superior army, but even if you have an inferior army, you should just be able to get things done. And Churchill is just going for the Marine thing. And now the tables are turning with Red Rum. I think with the Stim doing quite expertly, and with the range as well. So this technology is growing out of control, and I think that yes, this is the last of University of Alberta bot's army. That Stim is really evil. Natural getting shut down, another base set up by Red Rum. Red Rum now not going into... where are the medics? Oh, there, yeah. So this is over. So, nice bio play, I say GG, and let's hop into the next game. It's Banana Brain, which posted another update, versus Eric Hammer. And Eric Hammer, the reliable Zerg, is going to play Brown in the bottom right. And let's see how it's going to stop this monstering Moloch that is Banana Brain. Banana Brain, by my countryman Johan, is absolutely a monster. And, well, let's see how it goes. Going for a fast expansion, couple of zealots, nothing too aggressive, couple of Zerglings bringing home the scouting drone probe, and very defensive play from Eric Hammer. And of course you might as well, because if you know that the enemy is going for zealots, it is going to be rather hard to stop them with just Zerglings, and I think that is a wise decision. Just keep them as creep colonies. Might have 2 though, and perhaps a building for some city, the eBay, the Evo chamber, or another hatch, just to keep it in the SimCity, just to make it a little bit harder for these zealots to navigate. And you can see that's quite a number of zealots, and if you only had Zerglings, that would be nearly impossible to stop, and there isn't even a +1 attack upgrade. Or is there? Yes, there is, and that means that Zerglings at this point are basically worthless. And, oh, the Sunkens are pretty late. The Zealots just march straight into the natural, killing all the drones. But by now there is quite a number of mutants out there, and with the Sunkens that just came online, it's going to be a complete rout for the Zealots. They did some damage, but they are taking a terrific pounding from behind and from above. And that is not good at all, at least for the Zealots. And now there are mutants in the natural and in the main of Banana Brain. Eric Hammer has countered this beautifully, and I think Banana Brain finds itself up the creek without a paddle and even without a single goon. It's making High Templar and no Storm got cancelled, and at this point it's over. And the meat production, is it still on? No, it isn't. That round of drones is coming, and I saw some Hydras. So are we going to see Lurker? I don't think we will. What kind of units are being made? Nothing as of yet. Eric Hammer is keeping his money very low, making drones. Oh, and some Zerglings coming in for the kill, but you can see how much damage these +1 attack Zealots are doing. That doesn't really matter though, because the Zealots have got things well under control, and even this one goon cannot stop them all. So yes, third base now up and running for Eric, and Eric demonstrates it's still a player to be reckoned with, taking out Banana Brain like it is not even there. So, without further ado, I present to you a new bot. It is called Dragon. And the lowdown has it, and that is what Dan Gann told me, that it is a project of TSC Moose. It is a Terran based on Cherry Pie, and if TSC Moose is behind it, it's going to be pretty wild. So I thought, well, why not take Killerbot, one of the best Zergs we got out there still. And Killer is going for a pool and a handful of... oh, that's just a very quick lair, but it got spotted by the scouting SCV. And I think now that Dragon spotted it, Dragon, what's it going to do? Going to build a starport of its own and a Marine and a Wraith. So you can see that there will be some anti-air to counter this muta thing coming up. Or at least if it's going to be a muta thing. Is that a Spire? Yes, that is a Spire. Notice also the drone production by Killerbot. That is very high, and still there are enough larvae to build a lot of mutas, and that's because it is so excellently timed, the build order. And that, of course, they just run. And now they turn and fight, but they don't really get the grips with the Wraith. The Wraiths haven't got a cloak. And now, oh, let's see how beautifully this Wraith fights within the confines of this this Marine army. But the mutas are doing a lot of damage. They take some damage as well. And now the muta count is growing. And you can see how expertly they ignore the army, and they are just going for the mineral line. I think that's a very good decision. The Marines are stilling, so the mutas should be careful now. But their micro is pretty decent, and they take down, immediately, almost take down another tank, killing a lot of Marines left, right and center, and the muta production is still rising. There is no third base yet for Killerbot, so Killer is pretty all in with this. But I think that mutas have got things well under control. Marines dying, SCVs dying, and nothing much is coming out of Dragon anymore. The mutas are too strong, and this shows you what a good, well-executed build order can do. And of course, it has to be noted that the decision-making of these mutas is absolutely perfect. Ignoring the main army, just running up into the main, killing stuff there, and the army will have to file, single file, up in the main base, exposing itself one at a time. And these mutas, we've got 16 mutas now, are absolutely in control of this game, and the cloud is growing. The damage potential, look at that! Oh, nearly three-shotting a complete bunker, and the damage is off the charts. So Dragon's first game didn't go as well, and I thought, well, let's have it play another game versus Purple Wave, because Purple Wave, of course, is the Protoss of Dan Gann, one of the other project members of the Cherry Pie bot. And, well, having it play versus a Terran by TSC Moose, also based off Cherry Pie, that is most excellently done. And Dragon last game saw the Spire, but didn't really believe it was going to be as powerful as it can be. And versus a lot of bots, you can sort of do that, but Killerbots mutas are just too damn good. And now you can see that Purple Wave is bringing on the pressure with a handful of Zealots, one of them nearly dead, but there was a Vulture out, and now the Zealots are doing a lot of damage, and the Vulture isn't getting anything done. There is one Marine, but what can one Marine do versus a lot of Zealots? And two Marines now, the SCVs are coming to block off the Zealots, and yes, there is a Vulture, and the Vulture doesn't live. The Vulture micro is just not good enough at this point to deal with a couple of stray Zealots, and now the Zealots are getting pretty low and they retreat. This proxy, of course, is total rubbish. Had it been anywhere near TSC Moose, Dragon's base, it would have been much, much worse. But now with two Vultures and a couple of Marines and Zealots with defective micro, I think that Dragon will have held the base. Worker count, depressed army count, well, pretty low, but the same can be said for Purple Wave, which was rather all in with the 2-gate, but has been producing probes behind that, so it's sort of okay. And now with two goons, I think the upper hand is returning to Purple Wave. So Purple Wave going for a little bit of goon pressure. Is there a tank? Yes, there is one tank with a handful of infantry. Oh, and siege mode, so that's pretty good. And if Purple Wave would now just not waste all these goons, I think it might have a good chance, but can take the natural. There is a bit of pressure still on TSMU's natural, with a couple of tanks, of course. Oh, I should say Dragon. But Dragon is taking this base. Bunker could be a little bit more over here, but other than that, it's pretty decent what kind of building placement this bot has. Now, third base, started by Purple Wave. I think that's good, because if the enemy is going tank, we're not going to be able to stop it with just goons. And that's just the thing, because Dragon is going to build tanks, and Purple Wave doesn't really know how to deal with tanks, and that's very awkward. Because as a Zerg, as a Protoss, you will have to find some way with the enemy tanks if you are going to make a splash in the top 3. So I think this should be the right time to show you what the ranking looks like. ELO rating still has Seda on top, and with a relatively safe margin versus Liquidus. Of course, the Dark Templar cheese still works. Then Purple Wave doing very good. Crazier Protoss really rocking up there. Then Ironbot Proxy doing immaculately. TSMU Random Banana Brain, Killerbot, Chimerabot, Steamhammer, Microwave. And you would ask yourself, well, where is Dragon? Where's Dragon? I don't know. Dragon has got 26 game played, ELO of 2073, which is rather low, but I expected to get things done because it can play so very, very well versus Terran and Protoss. Third base up for Dragon, and a 3-base Terran with tank dominance is almost unstoppable. So I'll speed it up just a tiny little notch. And you can see that the Protoss army doesn't really dare commit. If it does, it gets in halfway and then retreats. And of course that's not going to be very constructive. You need at one point to be able to trade, and the trade involves some enemy units being killed as well. Dragon beautifully shielding the tanks with the Marines. A Protoss which would have more gusto to take those fights would have been better. What you can see is only one-way traffic. The Zealots getting absorbed, and although there is a stasis, there is more than enough Terran army to get things settled in a relatively short fashion. Dragon, like we know from Cherry Pie, is macroing like a boss, and if you look at the production tab, it will of course be reflected that. Of course, with an extremely high number of Marines, and I think that is a right decision, because if you micro them well, they are mobile enough and they can do a lot of damage. So here goes the main base of Purple Wave. Completely gutted in 20 minutes. Storm going off, but not really, nothing too much. And Dragon meticulously takes care to kill the entire base with a small tank contingent. Oh, and taking just in spite. And now the battle is on after the expansions of Purple Wave. Purple Wave with the Storms. The Storms are doing quite well against the Bio armor, but there is just too much of it. And yes, this Archon is not going to do anything at all. And now Purple Wave is reduced to an assimilator on the high ground, and now reduced to the low ground. Dragon is all over it with a large number of siege tanks, and now should make its way down the ramp. Dragon trying a sort of DT kind of thing, but I doubt that's going to work with a lot of Science Vessels overhead. And now I think Dragon is stuck on its own movement. That's not good at all. Oh, some Marines make it down the ramp to do some damage. And then they get stuck on their own micro. Oh, and the Wraiths, they die, and the Science Vessel dies to the cannon. And probes are being killed. And Purple Wave trying to restart at one base with just 2 probes mining, and well, what can you do? Dragon has got the map, has got a humongous bank, and just its inability to move down the ramp. I think these medics are causing the problem. Okay, well, small hitch, and let's call it the GG. Last game of the day, and of course you've all been wondering about how that is going to play out. It is Dragon versus Seda, so Cherry Pie with TSMU versus the Samsung AI team. That is going to be so magnificent, it is beyond words. But let's wait and see how the game is going to play out, because there might just be a damn silly cheese and the game might be over. So yes, there we go, SSCAIT with the very quick expansion and the bunker, and Dragon is going to hold the high ground versus the Vulture. That's a lot of bio, and I cannot but help think that this Vulture is going to do way more damage than it should have, and SSCAIT now in a brilliant position with the expansion up and running while Dragon is still there on its one base and without really anything of an army. So now the natural for Dragon is going to be constructed, and let's see what SSCAIT is doing. It's got 2 factories, one with a machine shop, got an academy and thingy, armory. Same can be said here, but without the technology, and I think that this is going to be another depot and not an academy or an armory. Oh no, it must be slower. So yes, the armory is, the academy is coming, and the eBay, and now SSCAIT is going to move out. There are 3 raids by Dragon, and with a little bit of intrepid Vulture maneuvering and a tank in the rear, it does quite well. And now there are 3 raids doing a lot of damage. There is no range yet for SSCAIT. SSCAIT's range is pretty low, but with 4 raids you can see the amount of damage that's being done, and TC Dragon's tanks are on the march. They kill the Goliath, and now the raids, they do kill the tank. So this is going to be a very tight dance between wraiths, Goliaths and tanks, and you can see these tanks, they just stay right outside the air cover range, and the SCVs are so on top. We know that from many bots, but I think compared to TSMU Terran, the SCV repair for Dragon is a lot better. Meanwhile though, I think that, yes, there comes the repair. Now the dance is on again. And the tanks for SSCAIT are all gone. Dragon, I got to stop saying that. Dragon is doing an absolute load of work, and now there are raids in the main base as well, keeping SSCAIT on its toes, and SSCAIT will have to defend many places at once. The SCV repair is on the nose on spot, and Dragon is going to take yet another base. And you can see that, oh, now tanks on the high ground and on the low ground in range, but this one got killed. And the raids are really doing a number. The SCV repair for the raids should be better though. Are more SCVs being forwarded to the front? No, but some bio is, and Dragon taking 2 bases at once, and I think that once this economy starts rolling, it will have to be careful not to be without any kind of army, because SSCAIT has got quite a good army, and defending with a Terran versus a Terran at this bridge situation is going to be pretty wild, or pretty effective, I would say. Because of course this is DBT, is not really going to be all that wild, and the SCVs are now going after, but you can see Dragon playing this beautifully. Only 1 tank, a handful of raids, and now, yes, there are still fighting units. Now this tank sort of lives, and SSCAIT is moving out, but at what cost? Dragon has got these 2 bases set up. Has it got production to use that? SSCAIT has got a lot of money, but hasn't got production of its own to make things happen. And TSMU with a large number of raids and the odd tank is getting so much done in the middle of the map. And if the tank line had been a little bit deeper, these Goliaths could have been styming more effectively. SSCAIT taking another base, and Dragon taking the mineral only as well. So production-wise, we've got 1 factory, and Dragon is going for a lot of bio, where SSCAIT is making more mech units. And what a game this is, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a small pocket of Marines and a Wraith, but the standard defense complement of each base, 1 tank, 2 Goliaths, and a couple of turrets, is proving quite effective in getting that sorted. Now, the question is, how will Dragon fare with all this bio? Alone, Goliath, I warrant you can snipe. Oh, and now SSCAIT is so very exposed. Oh, this tank is just so lucky. It could have been killed by anything, but isn't. And now this offensive attacking pocket is under heavy attack. And this reminds one of TSMU Zerg, which likes to surround enemies, but it is much more deadly. The decision making is so much better, and the raids are very mobile. So, yes, there you go. And SSCAIT running into TC Nu's base, but there is a Wraith overhead, and I think, although that attack was worth it, in the grand scheme of things, the main for SSCAIT is running out, and now TC Nu is all over it with the Wraith, and as a Goliath, you never know, because, boom, there you go, tank blast in your face, and another one, and you are dead, and the infantry is now on the march. If you haven't got a very goodly ranged tank defense, it is going to be very, very hard to deal with that. And as you can see, there is no air cover here, and these Wraiths, even though there are only 3 and now 4 or 5, are doing a murderous job on all the units which cannot defend themselves. And TC Nu is, oh sure, Dragon is on the march, and this is now a very good defensive line, but the infantry count is exploding. And now Dragon is not really succeeding in killing this base, but it's killing such a number of SCV that mining there is non-existent. So the main for SSCAIT is out, the natural's getting low, Dragon has got the map, and even though Dragon has the most unusual TVT unit composition, oh, here comes a Valkyrie, it is getting things done. The infantry is raising the third of SSCAIT, and even though they take a big mine hit, it is not going to work. The naturals all SSCAIT's got at the moment. Dragon is nearly maxed, has got, well, considering all the income it's got, it's keeping its bank low as a true-blooded motherfucker, and now it is going to build battlecruisers. So what more can you wish for? The third has been stamped into the ground, the natural is being invaded. We probably won't see the battlecruisers at the front in this game, but you can see how murderous a weapon Dragon is. And still, you've got this rich situation, and you've got that last game where the army just couldn't move down the ramp. But this game is all but over. You can see SSCAIT at 73, 71 supply. There's going to be a nursery and countdown rhyme from here on. SSCAIT has got a new base setup, but I doubt that any kind of SCV transfer will ever reach it. Now SSCAIT at 41, 40, and the battlecruiser is there, the Valkyrie is there, Dragon is rocking, and now has made its way up the ramp. SSCAIT has got no chance, but has to tap out, if it can tap out, or will just get killed. Dragon, the Cherry Pie bot, headed by TC Nu as a side project, which was, I believe Dan called it, is rocking the game, so watch out for it. It is going to be a bloody murder all again. So I say thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, I certainly had. So next week Shonko will be on again, and after that I'll be there again. For now, thanks for watching, that was the end of SSCAIT. Keep them coming, the games. Here in the top left you can see my email address. I will forward them to Shonko if you send any during this week. So have a good week and goodbye.